And are you able to see the screen? Hello? Hello? Can someone reply? Is my voice audible? Pratima, Gnaneshwar, Srija.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So, so we have seen different types of web elements in our previous session. We have seen text box, radio button, link, image, button, checkbox, drop down. So these things we have seen. Apart from that, we have one more web element. So let me show that which is similar to text box. Okay, so let me search. Which is text area. So that web element is text area. So whatever you see here, something which is like description box. So this box you are able to see here, right? So this we call it, this is text area. So if you inspect this element, you could see that this is a text area. See, this is a text area. You handle it similar to text box. So for text box, how you use the send keys method to write the text in this text area. The same way you can use the send keys method to handle this particular web element, which is text area. As this is read only, you will not be able to update anything. You will not be able to modify anything because this is read only. If you see this attribute here, read only is equal to true. Number of rows is 7. So columns is 40, width is this much. So if it is not read only, you can perform the send keys operation. So if you see this kind of tag text area, you can handle it similar to text box, how you handle it. Okay. So this is the only one pending, but most of the cases we don't see this kind of things in like how to handle these things and all. So generally, if you come across this text area, this is how you will handle it, similar to text box. So if you want to clear what is already present, you will use the clear method. Once you clear the data, if you want to add any data to this field, you use the send keys method. So similar to text box only, you will handle this kind of web element. So these are the different types of web elements we have. So if you have any doubts in this types of web elements, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll move to the next topic. So were you able to complete your homework? Like, so I'll give one more day for it. So today also you try that one. Okay. And in the next session, we'll see. Did anybody try handling a table in Abibus application? Did you try that? So you can try tables even in this website also. So in Maven repository also, you can see a lot of, this is a table. So this is also a table if you see here. This is table body, table headers, TDs. So you have a lot of tables to if you want to work with. So here, this is also a table. This is also a table. So a lot of tables are available in many applications. So if you want to try, really try with the web, how to handle a web table. So first you try with the Abibus thing, then you want, if you want to try anything, you can try it. Here also you have a lot of things to have, if you want to work with. Okay, so try some e-commerce applications, Amazon or Flipkart or eCart. So where you will have a lot of web elements, which helps you to learn how to locate and how to uh, perform the actions on it. Okay, so try with that. If you have any doubts on how to handle web elements, you can ask me. Shall we proceed to the next one? Okay. So the next concept we have is different types of weights. So if there is any synchronization issue between the driver and browser, how we handle it by using the weights, okay? And how to take a screenshot, how to handle multiple windows, how to handle frames, how to handle alerts, and how to read data from Excel or any other external data. So, and what are different types of exceptions we have. So these are the next concepts that we are going to see. So first we'll start with weights. What are different types of weights and why we need to use the weights? Okay. So for in order to eliminate the synchronization issue, we use the weights. These are different types of weights: page load weight, implicit weight, explicit weight, fluent weight, and thread dot sleep. So these are the 5 different types of weights we have in Selenium. We'll see one by one. So first we'll see why we need to use weights, and then we'll see what are these types of weights. Okay. So this we will be covering in today's session. So generally, to maintain the synchronization between WebDriver and browser, synchronization between WebDriver and browser, we use weights. So if driver is going fast, WebDriver is going fast, but if the browser is slow due to internet issue or some other issue, the browser is slow. So it is the page, in order to load the page, it is taking time, but the driver is fast in following the instructions which we give. See, we ask the driver, what we ask the driver to go open the browser. Once you open the browser, you navigate to this page. Suppose you load the Gmail page, and we are giving the instructions like load Gmail. Once it is loaded, provide username and provide password, and then click on next or something. Click on this button. So these are the instructions that we gave to the WebDriver. But the browser, so when we are giving the instructions to the WebDriver, so it has loaded the Chrome or whatever the browser it might be, and it is trying to load this Gmail. So Gmail is open in the browser. But it is taking time to load this page completely. But before that, the driver is fast. So as the browser is slow, it is still loading. The page is still loading. So when the driver is trying to find this username, trying to locate this username, the page is still not loaded. So it will not be able to find the username, and it will throw an error saying that no such element found. No such element found, because the page is loaded. The page is not loaded because the browser is slow, but the driver, it went to the next instruction. And it is trying to find the username. It is trying to locate the username field. In that case, we will face this kind of issues like no such element found. Okay, so in order to avoid this synchronization, like both WebDriver and browser, excuse me, both WebDriver and browser, they should go in parallel. They should be in sync. So when the driver should follow the instructions based on the browser speed. It has to follow. So there should be a synchronization between these two. That synchronization can be maintained by using the weights. Weights in Selenium helps to maintain the synchronization between the WebDriver and browser. So that these two can work parallelly. So it has to wait until so we need to instruct the driver, wait until this Gmail page is loaded. Once the Gmail page is loaded, then you can locate this username or password and provide the information. Then you will not face this kind of exception. This kind of issues you will not be able to face. So that is what we are trying to tell the driver, to wait for some time, either to for the page to load, or implicit wait or explicit wait. We have seen one thing before, which is thread dot sleep. That means we are asking the driver to sleep for this much of time, to wait until this much of time, so that the browser will be loaded properly. Then you can go and find the element. This kind of issues majorly, like no such element found. When your locator is working fine, the provided XPath or CSS or ID, it is correct. But still, if you are facing this issue, you can try with the weights. You can try, first thing is you can try with weight. Okay, any kind of weight, like implicit weight or explicit weight, or if you are loading the page, you can use the page load weight. So these kind of things you can use and check if you are facing the same issue. Okay, this is the, whenever you are facing this issue, first thing is you need to check if the locator, whatever you are providing, is correct. If it is correct, then you can try with the weights. Okay, then see if you are still facing this issue. That is the second thing that you need to do when you are facing this kind of exceptions. Okay, so now in this weights we have 4 different types of weights related to selenium. So related to selenium, we have 4 different types of weights. Okay, the first one is page load weight. So this weight we use when we want the driver to wait for the complete page to load. So we are asking the driver to wait until the complete page is loaded. Until the complete page is loaded. Okay, so whenever you want to, we are loading some particular page, or when you click on some link and new page is getting opened. So in that case, you can use this page load wait. So page load wait means you're asking the driver to wait until the complete page is loaded. So that we call it as the page load wait. We'll see with an example. The next one is implicit wait. Okay, implicit wait means using the driver object, whatever operation we are performing, whatever action we are performing, for all those instructions, for all those things, this wait will be applicable. Suppose I am saying implicit wait is equal to, say, 5 seconds. Okay, my implicit wait is 5 seconds. So using the driver object, like driver, WebDriver object is driver, right? So using this object, whatever we are performing, driver dot find element, driver dot get, or driver dot. So using this driver object, whatever method or whatever action you are doing, for all these things, for all these instructions, this implicit wait will be applicable. For finding elements, it will wait 5 seconds. For getting, it will wait for 5 seconds. For whatever action you do, like driver dot window dot. So you have many window dot manage. So sorry, manage dot window dot uh, maximize. So whatever activity you are doing using this driver object, this wait will be applicable for each and every instruction. This much of time it will allocate. It will ask the driver to wait for this much of time for each and every instruction it is performing. So this 5 seconds, it will be applicable for find element instruction, for get instruction, or whatever driver dot whatever you write. So on top of driver, this 5 seconds will be applicable. So using this driver object, whatever activity or whatever instruction you are doing, for all those instructions, this time will be applicable. So we call this as global wait. So for whatever we do, whatever activity we are doing, this weight will be applicable. So implicit weight, we call it as global weight for it, as it is applicable for each and every instruction that we are performing using the driver. Clear, all of you? Okay. On the other hand, we have another weight called explicit weight. Explicit weight. The third type of weight is explicit weight. Important interview question, like what is the difference between implicit weight and explicit weight? Okay, observe carefully. So implicit weight, it will be applicable globally. So for each and every instruction that we are providing to the driver object, for all those things, that weight will be applicable. Whereas explicit weight, that means for a particular instruction, where we feel that it is taking a lot of time, only for those instructions. So for those instruction, explicitly we define a weight, like until some certain conditions are met. So for explicitly for a particular instruction, if we feel that it is taking, so generally if each instruction is taking, suppose 3 seconds of time, let us assume each instruction is taking 3 seconds of time. So we will implicitly define the wait time as implicit wait as 3 seconds, because every instruction is at max taking 3 seconds. So we define its implicit wait as 3 seconds. But in between this, there is one instruction which is taking more than this 3 seconds. That means it is, let us assume this particular instruction is taking 10 seconds of time to execute, 10 seconds of time to complete. So in that case, what we do for this particular instruction alone, we define explicit wait. We'll say, you complete the wait, implicit wait, 3 seconds you wait. After that, after waiting for that 3 seconds, you also wait for 10 seconds for this instruction to get completed, because this instruction is going to take a lot of time, more than this implicit wait. So in that cases, we define the explicit wait. Explicitly for a particular kind of instructions, we will be defining this explicit wait. Explicit wait we define for particular instructions where that particular instruction is taking more than the expected time, like what all the other instructions are taking. This instruction is taking more time to get completed. So in that case, we use the explicit wait. Clear, all of you? Okay. So this is the main difference between explicit wait and implicit wait. Implicit wait is global wait. Okay. But whereas the explicit wait, it can be applicable only for particular instructions, only for specified instructions we provide. Okay. That is the main difference between implicit and explicit wait. The next one is fluent wait. Okay. So fluent wait means there is, I'll say one example. Based on that, you can understand this fluent wait. So there is one particular web element. Okay. Say like a text box or whatever it might be. So this is a particular web element. Okay. In this web element, um, for a particular period of time, say for every 3 seconds, for every 3 seconds, um, there is some change in the content of this text box. For every 3 seconds, there is change in the content of this text box. Suppose at first, hello message is displayed. Okay. After 3 seconds, this hello message is disappeared and welcome message is displayed. So this is displayed for 3 seconds, and after 3 seconds, some other message is getting displayed. So for every 3 seconds, there is some change in this in the content in this text box. Locating the same element, same web element, but the content in this uh, web element, the content in this web element is changing for a particular period of time. Like for every 3 seconds, the content in this is changing. This is changing for 15 seconds. This is happening for 15 seconds. That means 5 messages are getting displayed. 5 messages are getting displayed with a time interval of 3 seconds, with a gap of 3 seconds each. So first, for the first 3 seconds, hello message is displayed. Second, welcome is displayed. So third, some message is getting displayed. Fourth and fifth. So like this, 5 messages are getting displayed with a time interval of 3 seconds. With a time interval of 3 seconds. Okay. So in that case, we use fluent wait. So the web element is not different, the same web element. So you can locate it by using a single locator. But for every 3 seconds, the message is getting changed here. So in that case, you use the fluent wait. You can take the best example as ATM machine. When you go to ATM machine, so it will say, so you provide the details and you want to withdraw the cash. So what it will say for the first time, so please wait while we are processing your request. For some time that will be displayed. After that, your transaction has been collected. Your transaction has been completed. Okay. After some time, it will display. Please collect your ATM card. So these are different text messages that are displayed in the same web element. But after every time interval, so suppose like 3 seconds or something like that, so it will display. First it will display, please wait while we are processing your request. Please wait while we are processing your request. So for 3 seconds, this message will be displayed. After that, after 3 seconds, it will display one more message. Your transaction is completed. Your transaction is completed. Okay. So for 3 seconds, this message will be displayed. After that, what it will display finally? Please collect your card. Please collect your card. Okay. So these are the different messages for particular time periods, for particular time intervals they have set to display. Okay. So in this case, if you want to handle this kind of things, then we use fluent wait. So in fluent wait, we have polling period. Polling period. That means for after how many times it has to check this particular web element. So for every 3 seconds, it has to check this web element whether there is change in the content or not. So polling period here in this case will be 3 seconds. Complete time is 15 seconds. So in this 15 seconds of time, for every 3 seconds, it will check for the content in this web element. It will check for the content in this web element. So polling period is 3 seconds and the complete time is 15 seconds. So these are the two main attributes in the fluent wait, which is polling period and time. Polling period means after how many seconds in this main time, it has to check this web element for any changes. Okay, is it clear for all of you? Fluent wait. Your interview question will be in what cases you will be using the fluent wait. Generally, in most of the cases, we will not be using the fluent cases. This is one best example where we use the fluent wait. Okay, in ATM machine where their messages are getting displayed after every 3 seconds or 5 seconds, there will be a change in the content of the same web element. If the content is changing for at a regular intervals of time, then in that case, we will be using the fluent wait by using the polling period. So for every 3 seconds, it will be checking for any change in the messages. For how much of time it will do like this? For a time period of 15 seconds, it will do like this. So in this example, so in your case, if wherever you come across this kind of situations, like for a particular web element, at regular intervals of time, you need to go and check if there is a change in time or not. Then you can do with this one. One more best example for fluent wait is um, loading time, spinning circle, spinning circle. Suppose let me take a new page. Spinning circle. That means when you open some application and it is taking time to load, Then you can see the circle rotating here. Circle. When the page is loading, it will like when you take IRCTC website or some website which is very busy at peak time. So when you are booking a Tatkal ticket, most of the time when you are clicking on some link, it will be, you can see it's a circle kind of thing which is rotating like this, loading, 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 loading. So that for the, in that case also you can use the fluent wait. So you can ask the driver for, you can set this polling period. So that what is spinning tool means, the circle which will be rotating like this, rotating, 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 rotating at the center when the page is loading. Page is loading. So most of the time at the busy time, like when the Tatkal of IRCTs or when application is busy, in that case, when you are clicking on a particular link in that website, it will be loading, loading, loading. So that we call it as a spinning circle. In that case also, you can use the fluent wait. So fluent wait means this is our DOM object model. We are when we are giving the polling period, when we are giving the polling period as 3 seconds. So for every 3 seconds, if the DOM, it will check the DOM whether there is any change in this particular web element or not. Whether this spinning, so for in this spinning circle example, whether the spinning circle is gone and we are able to see the page behind it. So in that case, for every 3 seconds, that it will go and check in the DOM. For every 3 seconds, it will go and check in the DOM. So the DOM will be refreshed when the page is loaded. So when this is completed, so when the page load is completed, the DOM gets refreshed and spinning circle will not be visible, and the driver will be able to find the web element. So fluent wait for a particular time interval. If you want to go and check something in the DOM, then we use the fluent wait with polling period. Same thing with the previous example, ATM machine example. So for every 3 seconds, we need to check the message. Say web element is same, but the content is different. So for the text box or whatever tag, that we will be able to locate this particular element with only one locator. But the content here is changing. So we are for every 3 seconds, we are asking the driver to go and check the DOM for this particular web element if there is any change in the content or not. So that is the importance of fluent wait. Will be very less cases where we use this fluent wait. I have seen spinning circle where we use, and one more example is ATM machine. So we can in this spinning. So they'll ask you in interview like you are seeing a spinning circle on your web page. So in that case, which kind of wait we use? So you can give an example as fluent wait or page load wait. Page load wait also we can give. Page load wait, if you are okay with, see, suppose difference between page load and fluent wait here in this case for spinning circle is page load wait. I am giving as 20 seconds. I am giving page load wait as 20 seconds. For fluent wait, what I am giving polling period as 3 seconds. And general so for how much time, time it has to wait is 20 seconds. The difference between the first fluent wait and the page load wait is for every 3 seconds, the fluent wait will check the DOM. For every 3 seconds, the fluent wait will check the DOM. That will, for every polling period, the driver will check the DOM if the page is loaded or not. Whereas in this page load wait, continuously it will be checking the DOM. Continuously it will be checking the DOM. It will not wait for 3 seconds. It will not. So this doesn't have any polling period. Page load wait doesn't have any polling period. So when the page is completely loaded, suppose if it is loaded in 17 seconds, so this remaining 3 seconds will be not wasted in this page load wait. It will not be wasted in this page load wait. It will come out of this at the 17th second. If it finds that the page is completely loaded, it will come out of this wait and it continue with the instructions. The remaining 3 seconds, it will not waste here. The main here in this fluent wait, in this 20 seconds, so the intervals is 3 seconds, right? So first 3 seconds, it will check the DOM. After 6 seconds, it will check the DOM. 9 seconds, it will check. 12 seconds, it will check. 15 seconds, it will check. And then at 18th second, it will check. But here at 17th second only, the page got refreshed. This time will be wasted here. This 1 second of time will be wasted here, because the next polling period is at 18th second, but the page got refreshed at 17th second itself, so it got wasted here. Whereas in page load wait, it will be continuously checking the DOM. It will not wait until this polling period. It will continuously check. So at 17th second, the page got refreshed. So at 17th second only, it will come out of this page load wait and start executing. Whereas in fluent wait, it will wait until the polling period, then it will come out of this. So at 18th page, 18th second, it will find that the page is loaded completely. So after this 18th second only, it will come out of this wait and execute the next instructions. Okay, so that is the main difference between fluent wait and page load wait. In fluent wait, we'll have the polling period. And where we use this fluent wait is, one example is ATM, the other one is spinning circle or any load. So whatever they might use for waiting, whatever image. So I said spinning circle. In some other cases, it may be some other thing like arrows going like this, like this, like this. So whatever it might be, when you are waiting for the page to get completely loaded, in that case also you can use the fluent wait. But the best example I can say is ATM machine. In this case, you cannot use any other wait other than fluent wait. But in this case, you can at least use page load wait. But in this kind of situation, ATM example, you can use only fluent wait to check this one. Only fluent wait to check this one. Okay, so these are the even one thing I missed here. So what is that is, this is page load wait. This is implicit, explicit, fluent, and last one is thread dot sleep. This one is not related to Selenium. It is something which is related to Java. In Java, if you are asking a thread to wait for some time, you will use this one. This is not related to Selenium. It is related to Java. So the difference between other four, which are Selenium, and this one is, suppose you are asking thread dot sleep for 5 seconds. 5 seconds you are asking for the driver to wait or to sleep. And then you have next instructions to follow. For this 5 seconds, the driver will not check the DOM even if it got refreshed and everything got ready. So till this 5 seconds, it will not check the DOM. It will not check the DOM. It will not check anything. It will just sleep. It will not perform any action. Even suppose we used after page loading. So after driver dot get off some web page, so driver dot get off some URL you give. So after this, you are using this thread dot sleep. Suppose in order to load this page, it took only 3 seconds. It took only 3 seconds, but still the action will not be performed. The driver will be slept for 5 seconds. So this 2 seconds time got wasted here. So that is about the thread dot sleep. Even though if the expected element, the element which we are looking for is found at 3rd second, it will not continue with the instruction. It will wait for 5 seconds completely, and then only it will go to the next instruction. During this 5 seconds also, it will not take an attempt to check the DOM if the page is got loaded completely or not. So for that 5 seconds, it will just wait, it will just sleep, and then after this 5 seconds only, it will go to the next instruction. Okay, so that is about the thread dot sleep. Whereas, so that is why we call this as static wait. Because whatever time you give, until that time, it will not perform any activity. It will just sleep. It will not do any action. It will not even check the DOM. So after 5 seconds only, it will come out of that sleep and try to perform the next instructions. So that is why we call this as static. So all these are dynamic. The Selenium waits are dynamic waits. Okay. So for page load, if you give 20 seconds of time for the page to load, If it is found at 17th second only, so the remaining 3 seconds are, it won't wait there. It will come out of that wait and follow the next instruction. So that is the reason we call all this four as dynamic waits. The same thing for implicit wait, the same thing for explicit wait, same thing for fluent wait. But the in fluent wait, it will wait until the polling period. Until the polling period. In all these waits, regular, so page load wait also will regularly check the DOM if the page got refreshed or elements are displayed or not. So implicit wait also will continuously keep an eye on this DOM. Explicit wait also keep an eye on this DOM. And fluent wait for every polling period. For every polling period, it will keep an eye on this DOM. Okay, so that is why all these four are dynamic in nature. But for fluent wait alone, for polling period, until the polling period, the driver has to wait. Even though, as we have discussed, so until the polling period, the driver has to wait. Okay, so these are the main differences between page load, implicit, explicit, fluent, and thread dot sleep. These are the 5 waits, but 4 are related to selenium, and generally we won't prefer to use this one. We won't prefer to use this one, but till now, as I haven't discussed about these weights, I have used this to show you how to wait. But generally, in general cases, we won't use this one. We won't use thread dot sleep because we unnecessarily the time will get wasted. Okay, so that is why we don't use this thread dot sleep. As we didn't discuss, I have used this till now. And we will not, in most of the cases, we will not be using this implicit wait also, because in if you are very clear, that each and every instruction is going to take some particular time, then only you use this implicit wait, because implicit wait will be applicable on each and every instruction. So if my instruction is not going to take 3 seconds of time to wait, there, so these are the instructions. So in that, few instructions are going to take 3 seconds and few instructions may take 1 second only. So in that case, so we don't prefer to go with, I generally don't prefer to use the implicit wait, because for each and every instruction, this will be applicable. For each and every instruction, this will be applicable. There might be few instructions which will take less time also, but still, as this is dynamic, so if it is completed in 1 second, the next 2 seconds will be used for the next instruction. It will come out of that and the next 2 seconds will be used. But still, we don't prefer to use this implicit wait. When we prefer is whenever that particular web element is taking more time, then only we try to use the weights. Otherwise, we don't need to use the weights, because most of the cases the driver and web browser will be in sync. If not, in that cases only we use this implicit or explicit or fluent or page load weights. Okay. Suppose for this particular for this particular instruction, as it is taking 10 seconds of time, I have defined implicit wait of 3 seconds. So in this case, it is taking 10 seconds, which is more than the implicit wait. So for this instruction, I am defining explicit wait. Explicit wait. This instruction already is under implicit wait. So 3 seconds it will wait. After that, it is taking 10 seconds. After this 3 seconds, we are providing the 10 seconds of time. So when there are 2 waits applicable on the same instruction, first preference will be given to which one? So first preference will be given to implicit wait, and then only it will go to explicit wait. First implicit wait will be applicable for that instruction, then only it will go to the explicit wait. When 2 weights are applied on a particular web element. So if you are giving the explicit wait for particular instruction, the implicit wait also will be applicable, because implicit wait will be applicable for each and every instruction. Implicit wait will be applicable for this particular instruction, as it is taking more time. So we are defining explicit wait. So along with this implicit wait, first it waits for this implicit wait time, then it will wait for explicit wait time. So total time waited for this instruction is 13 seconds. Total time for this particular instruction is 13 seconds. So when 2 waits are applicable on a particular web element, so first priority will be given to implicit wait, then only it will go to the explicit wait. Okay. So these are the main points that you need to remember for weights. Now we will see examples for each and every weight time. Is it clear, all of you, where we use different types of weight? For the page to get load, we use page load weight. Implicit, if you want to use, you use it for each and every instruction. Explicit weight for only for particular instruction. If it is taking more time, then we go with explicit weight. Fluent weight. So fluent weight, we generally don't use it. But there are few cases where we use this one. One such example is ATM machine. So we, for a particular, the web element is same, but the content in it is getting changed for at regular intervals of time. So in that case, you go with the fluent way. Thread dot sleep, generally we don't use it because it is related to Java one thing, and time will get wasted. So even though it is a static weight, it is not dynamic weight. So time will be wasted. So we don't generally use this thread dot sleep. We'll be using mainly these four kinds of weights only. Now we'll see an example. I'll take example of Gmail application only. One second. I'll use Gmail application. Okay. Now, first thing what I want to use is page load. So I gave this application. Now I want to ask the driver to wait for some time and to wait for the page to get loaded. So I'll use page load wait. In this case, I need to use the page load wait because we are asking the driver to load some page, right? So here, driver dot manage dot this time we need to use timeouts. Okay, timeouts dot here you will have all kinds of weights. So implicit weight you will have, page load weight you have, explicit weight you don't see here, that there is a separate syntax for it. So for now we will use the page load weight. So this is the page load weight. So we are giving a time of 10 seconds for the page to get completely loaded, and we need to give the units for this time, right? So we need to say that this 10 is seconds to the driver. So for that, in that case, you can give time unit dot, this is in seconds. If you remember, when I'm telling you the example for method overloading, I said I gave this same example. Implicit, I think for implicit weight, I gave this example. Here, the same method, page load time. See, when again, so let me show you that example for implicit method overloading. Here in time unit dot, here I can give anything. If I give nanoseconds, the same method but different parameters. Same method, page load timeout, but with different parameters. Here time unit is seconds, here you took nanoseconds. This we call it as method overloading. Same method with different parameters. If you remember the Java oops concept, I gave this example only. Okay, so now let us take the page load time as 10 seconds. So this is how you can define a page load time. So once the page is loaded, now we know that implicit weight is a global weight. So we need to define it before any instruction. Before any instruction, you need to define the uh, implicit weight. So I'm defining the implicit weight here. Implicit weight here like this. So driver dot manage dot timeouts dot implicit weight for 3 seconds for each and every instruction. The time unit will be the same in seconds, dot seconds. So for every driver instruction using the driver object, whatever we are performing, for all those things, for all those instructions, it will wait for maximum of 3 seconds. If it is completed within 2 seconds, that 1 second will be used for next instruction, as this is a dynamic wait. Okay. So that is one thing. So we are done with defining the implicit wait. Now let us find some element on the Gmail web page. Okay. So this will be the home page which will be launched. Now let me inspect here. And here I want to click on this learn mode. Okay, this learn mode I want to click. So what I will use, let me use a locator. So this is a tag, and I'll use the display text method. Okay, so let me use this locator and click on that particular web element. So I will use driver dot find element by dot xpath. This is my xpath, and on this I want to perform the click operation. Okay, so this is about the page load time, page load wait. It will wait for this much, maximum of this much time. So if it is completed even before that, it will go to the next instruction. Okay, the time will not be wasted. It will go to the next instruction as it is a dynamic wait. So let me run this one. Okay, so now what we want to, so this is about the page load and the implicit wait. This implicit wait will be applicable for each and every instruction. Okay, now we will see how to write explicit wait. Explicitly for a particular instruction, how we can write a wait. Okay, now let me define explicit wait. We have an interface called web driver wait. This is the class. So web driver wait is a class. For this class, I'm trying to create an object wait or W, whatever you want, you can use. Web driver wait, W is equal to new web driver wait. We are creating an object for this. In this class, you need to provide the driver object. So the driver object is this one. And here you have to specify the explicit time. So explicitly, I'm giving 10 seconds. I'm giving 10 seconds of time explicitly to wait. Okay. Now this object, using this object, you need to provide the wait. So we have created wait, but on which web element we have to perform this one, that we need to define here. So what we have to do, so W dot, observe this carefully, wait leave dot until. So until, here it is asking for a predefined functional interface, which is function. Function is a predefined interface, right? So that thing we are trying to use. So wait until expected conditions. So expected conditions dot visibility of element located by, or element, any web element you have already defined, that web element you can provide. Or if you want to give the locator here, so web element, visibility of element located by, so whatever locator you want you can give. So once the page, once you click on this learn more, so once you click on this learn more, I'm asking the driver to wait until a particular web element is visible, until a particular web element is visible. So what is that web element I want to search for is, um, I want to wait until this link is displayed. Until this link is displayed, I want to ask the driver to wait. Okay. So let me locate this particular thing. A, whose display text is equal to this one. Okay. So what we are asking the driver to do, wait until, so wait for 10 seconds until this element is found. That is what we are specifying. So we are saying the driver to wait until this particular web element is displayed. So that is about the web driver wait. Okay. So explicit wait, we have to define like this. This particular wait, the object we are applying on this particular element. On this element, we are applying the wait. We are asking the driver to wait until the expected conditions. What is the expected condition? Visibility of element. Locate until this element is visible. Until this particular element is visible, you wait. After clicking on learn more, you wait until this particular element is displayed. This particular element is located. This particular element is visible. Until that time, you wait. So that is the explicit wait. So implicit is 3 and explicit is 10. Total 13 seconds will be applicable on this particular instruction. On this instruction, 13 seconds will be applicable. There are a lot of methods here. If you can see after this expected conditions, you have, you can check if alert is present. You can check if, along with this, if you want to add any other condition, you can use this one. So attribute to be, element to selection state to be. So a lot of things are there. So you can ask the driver until this expected conditions which are listed here. So based on your requirement, so you can use the text to be present in element value. So in a particular web element, what is the text to be present? So lot of methods are available. So based on your requirement, you can use any one of the method. As of now, I used visibility of element located by this. So you, after clicking on learn more, we are asking the driver to wait until this element is located. This particular web element is located. Until the condition, you wait. We are asking the driver to wait. So this is what the explicit wait. Okay, let me run this program. So the page is loaded and it was, I'm not sure if it was able to find or not. It will not find because that text is not present here. So that is why it failed. So whatever the text we used here, help mode, here you used your activity controls, right? In this help. But here, in this page, which it is loaded through automation, that text is not there. So that is why it will fail. That is why it will fail. So you can use incognito mode or whatever you want, you can use, and you can check this one. Let me use incognito mode. This link, let me use. This is Google account help. And here it is something Google Chrome help or something different. Let me use this one instead of this here activity controls. This one. Let me rerun it again. This is Google Chrome help that is displayed here. Even now it got the timeout exception, expected condition waiting for visibility of located by XPath. The text is equal to U incognito mode. Tried for 10 seconds with 500 milliseconds interval. So for every 500 milliseconds, that means half a second, it will be checking the DOM whether that element is present or not. Okay. So why it is not displayed here? Let me inspect using the XPath. We try with this XPath only. Just look at this. A tag whose text is equal to I'm checking in styles that way it is not showing. This is there, web element is there. Let me copy this XPath. Let me save it. Now run this program again. Why still it is showing timeout execution? This web element is found, right? Why is it going to- Okay, let's try with some other element. Not sure why it is not coming here. Let's try with some other web element. Actually, it should be found, but why it is not found? So let's find this text. So if the driver is able to find this text, then we can come out of that wait. Okay. So let's try with this paragraph tag whose content is this one. So we'll wait for this element. So let me take this XPath. Oh, that text is not, it is here. Why it is still, why it is taking, why it is still saying the timeout exception? No such cannot locate an element using by XPath. I'll check on this why it is not working. So till now, if you have any doubts like in page load implicit So thread dot sleep. So theoretical part, we are done. So this explicit weight, it has to work. Not sure why it is not working. We'll get back to you on this. So till now, if you have any doubts, you can ask.